live stream.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we are back in BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge action, round 7, coming to you live from the magnificent Brands Hatch circuit in the UK. In the booth with me tonight, I have Mr. Yaz Samai. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Good to be back.
Probably with a mouthful of pizza doing your cameras, it's Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, Clyde, and everybody watching. And no, I don't have full of pizza in my mouth, but soon to be.
Right. Right. Well, let's let him scoff his pizza, shall we, Yaz? Right. Burning question for tonight, and this is a personal one for you, Yaz. I have been asked if Yaz is short for anything, or whether your name is actually Yaz. Now, the only thing I could come up with was Yasmin.
Close enough. It is short for Yasir. That's my full name.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's, I've had many different versions of my name when I tried to use my normal one, and that's where the shortened version came from. It was just easier and it stuck.
I think Yaz is a lot easier, isn't it? And on the subject of names as well, those of you looking at our scoring board on your screens will notice Mr. Chris Shaw is back in GT4. Now, Chris has been away for a while. We're not quite sure why, although I'm told we now have to call him Christine. So you can take your own thought on where Chris has been. Anyway, Yaz, back to the racing. Brands Hatch. Old school, traditional, tight, difficult to overtake, but fantastic. It's got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does have everything. Elevations up and down, some straights, nice long straights. Very technical, very tight, very, like you say, very difficult to pass, but also at the same time very difficult to make a mistake. So we'll see mistakes, we'll see passes because of those mistakes, and it's one of those tracks that is very, very popular, not only on iRacing but around, in real racing as well. It's a good one. I think we're in for a good race tonight.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. So new drivers for tonight. Obviously, we've said Christine Shaw is back. We have another. I believe he's Dutch, and we have been discussing on how to pronounce his name. If you say it as it says it on the screen, it's Rick Verhoog. Yaz has got his own idea, trying to translate Dutch into Afrikaans. But as is the way with our Dutch drivers, we're going to rename him and call him Rick Hedgehog. So that's what we're going with tonight. Let's just have a go at what was your version, Yaz?
So if we were to go with the real version, I'm assuming it's going to be Rick Verhoog. If it's the Dutch version.
There's no way.
But I have a feeling you might have some trouble with that one.
Yeah, that ain't happening, mate. Not without teeth flying everywhere and me spitting all over my screen. So, yeah, Rick Hedgehog it is. So, last time out, Okayama. Gt4, Tyler Newitt took away the win with Stefan Goebel in second, Jamie Wilson in third. Sam Blees took away the win in TCR with Stephen Walker in second and Gary Craig in third. So that all means now Mr. Wobbly Kneecap has again switched classes and gone back into GT4, so we're just going to ignore him anyway. That means Chris Needham leads the way in GT4 with Tyler Newitt in second and Jamie Wilson in third. In your TCR class, Sam Blees currently leads the way with Spencer McCarthy in second and Stephen Walker in third. In the team standings, Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing lead the way with RWC Racing Black in second and BSTV Esports Green in third. Chris Needham is a long way ahead in driver of the meeting with 6 votes, and then we have a plethora of drivers on 1 vote. Head to head, so the group stages are finished. We now concentrate on the quarterfinals in the TCR class only. So, something to look out for tonight. Quarterfinal 1, Matt Elmore versus Roger Morton. Quarterfinal 2, Gary Craig versus Stephen Walker. Quarterfinal 3, Sam Blease versus Spencer McCarthy. That's a cracker. And quarterfinal 4, Shane Powell versus David Ayers. So those head-to-heads run over round 7 and round 8, and then the drivers in each of those matchups that score the most points will go through to the semi-finals. Right, Yaz, so we are in qualifying. We are coming up on 6 minutes gone. We know this is all going to change, but Stefan Goebel is currently your provisional pole man in GT4 with Chris Needham in second and Martijn Versluwen in third. In TCR, Michael Gray currently sits top of the pile with Sam Blease in second and Spencer McCarthy in third. So, Yaz, burning question. No Tyler Newitt, unless he gets the sack from his set cult for the rest of the season. That's going to open up that GT4 field again, isn't it? We know Chris Needham is doing really well, but I have the feeling Chris Shaw might take some big points away from some of those guys at the top of the table.
No, for sure, Chris Shaw will take some points away. But Chris Needham is in a good position at this stage. He's leading by, about 60 points over Jamie Wilson with Tyler Newitt not in this race. He's not going to have to finish this race, and the other guys are going to have to, win to be able to catch up to him. So I have a feeling he's still going to be at the top of that pile at the end of this race. And something else that was interesting that you mentioned in the head-to-head, we've got Gary Craig versus Stephen Walker and Sam Blease versus Spencer McCarthy. That's the top of the table, playing out in the first quarterfinal. We've got some interesting battles, not only in the league but in that head-to-head challenge as well.
Yeah, evening to Olivier from Guadeloupe. He says, cool, it's time for recreation. I'm not sure either of your drivers are here yet. The Mika Esports guys. Actually, no, I'm lying. They don't run in this series, do they? It's the Porsche. Ignore me, I've had a long day. Right, let's go to the TCR class then. So, like you say, Yaz, head-to-head is looking absolutely awesome. But, we've seen Spencer, we've seen Stephen, we've seen Sam, Gary has been quick, Michael has been quick, Matt Elmore has done well. I've personally ribbed Russell Cowell and Shane Powell because I think they're a bit further down where they should be. We know what Mark Draper can do. What's going to happen in there? It's the track can make it very, very difficult, as we said, to overtake. So is it going to be qualifying? Is everything? Are we going to see lights to flag winners, or do you think there's a bit of spice somewhere in the race?
I say this every week. and it is the fact that this is an hour-long race, and you need to put an hour together to be able to be at the front of this pack. I have a feeling it's going to come down to mistakes, especially around here where it's so difficult to pass. All these guys that you spoke about now are all very close on pace. You know, they're all very quick, and you know they're not going to be able to pass each other very easily. It's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes around here, and if whoever puts it on pole, if they don't make a mistake, they're going to win this race.
Obviously, we don't really know what tactics these guys are running with pit stops. We've seen absolutely everything in this series this season. We've seen undercuts, we've seen overcuts, we've seen tyres, we've seen no tyres. I don't know that there's a car that is particularly suited to round here. I'm told in GT4 that the Porsche is probably the better option, although the McLaren, after being very unloved, seems to be running well at most places. I love the GT4 field because we don't get as many as we do with the TCRs, but we always get a fantastic race. I love the TCRs because you can throw a blanket over the top 10 and any one of those can win. But it's, the season as a whole, it's sort of crunch time. We're halfway through. This is race 7. There's 5 more to go after this one. Somebody strings a couple of good results together, Yaz, and they could end up with not an unassailable lead, but a lead in the championship, which would mean they don't have to take the normal risk, and they can just race for points rather than racing for position, glory, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I think going to the on the point of which cars might be quicker and more suited around here. I think these guys, a lot of them have just gelled with the car that they enjoy and the car that they drive. And what iRacing has done is they've balanced it really well in terms of pace on these cars. They're very well matched, and it really just comes down to what the driver's skill is with that particular car, and which one they prefer, and which one they make work. And that's why looking at the top of the field of the GT4s there, except for Marco Lewert, there's 310s in it. I'm not entirely sure which cars they are, but it's the Porsche and the McLaren. I don't think anybody's driving the BMW anymore. But it's a Porsche or McLaren, and it's 310s between the top 6. And the same can be said for the TCR field. It's mixed cars there, and like you said, the top 10 you can throw a blanket over, and they're all on the same pace. So these guys just these guys are just quick in the cars that they pick, and that's how it plays out.
Yeah. Evening to Sir Alan on the chat. I think he may have had a drink. Evening Chaz, whoever that is. Hope you are all wheel. Yes, we're very wheel. Thank you very much. Interesting that you noticed Marco Lewert was back in the field. Obviously, he has spent some time out of the car after his double hip replacement. So he must have his dancing hips on tonight as he's back with us. That'll certainly help Stefan Goebel out in the team championship. Where are we now? So Wobbly's got himself on pole. Stefan currently 2nd. Chris Shaw has moved up to 3rd. In TCR, Spencer McCarthy now tops the pile with Michael Gray 2nd, Stephen Walker 3rd. And I think Sam showed us a brief glimpse of the Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing guys towing each other round the circuit, working as a team. We've got about 45 seconds left in this session. There are still a lot of fast drivers on track, so these positions can change at any moment. Looks like Rick Hedgehog hasn't set a qualifying time.
Yeah, we've got the usual suspects at the top of the TCR field again. Gt4's Wobbly's put himself at the front. And Stefan Goebel, Chris Shaw, Chris Needham. I think Chris Needham has been the revelation this season. Being on the top of the field of the GT4s, being at the top of the table of our driver of the day.
Did you see that?
As I say that. But yeah, he surprised us the most, and us as the commentary and broadcast team have seen that and given him those plaudits with our votes, and I hope he can keep this going. And he's just tried to stay out of
yeah,
it's just getting out of the way there. But yeah, I hope he can put another good race together. I think the race we saw a couple of weeks ago when he held off Tyler for that win, for his first win, the way he just controlled that defensive drive was phenomenal. And again, he's just come up in leaps and bounds this season.
Yeah, I think what Chris is doing right this season is, he is quick, but he's staying out of trouble, and he's making sure that he maximises his points haul to the best of his ability in each race.
Yeah, I think the massive thing is that he's driving within himself. He's not pushing too hard. Some might call it a bit lucky with some of his results, where he's just been there when others have made mistakes. He hasn't made the mistakes himself. He's been driving within himself and sort of slowly progressed through the field and progressed with his times over the season, and that's what's put him in the lead of this championship.
Yeah, and something else worth mentioning as well. We have no Kylie Haddington tonight. Can't remember if he's changing his internet or moving house, or there's something going on anyway. But at least we don't have to watch out for that, or we don't have to watch him for the first lap spin, do we? So we'll have to wait and see who else it will be. Martijn Versluwen normally comes up trumps on lap 2 or 3. Let's see if Pete Bingham can take over that mantle tonight.
Yeah, Pete Bingham is well overdue for a spin. We haven't seen that happening in a while, which is really uncanny.
Yeah, right. Let me take you through your GT4 starting order. So, wobbly kneecaps for BSTV Esports Pink is on pole position. Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports in second. Chris Shaw, Mob 7 Esports in third. Chris Needham, RWC Racing Black fourth. Martijn Versluwen, Dutchies Esports in fifth. Jamie Wilson, Team Chimera in sixth. Marco Lewert, VTS Esports in seventh. And rounding out your GT4 field is Rick Hedgehog, a privateer.
Yeah, then we've got in the TCR, it's Spencer McCarthy at the front. We're used to seeing that for Alpine Geodesic. Moved a little too fast there. Sam Blees in second place, also Alpine Geodesic Racing. Michael Gray, XVR Sim Racing in third. Stephen Hawker, Spectre 6 Purple. Gary Craig and BSTV Esport Green in fifth. Carl Hardy with a good time there in sixth place. Mark Draper coming in seventh. Adam Wright qualifying in 8th position. Rob Venn 9th for BSTV Esport Pink. Matt Almo, Spectre 6 in 10th. Pete Bingham, BSTV Esport Green in 11th. Shane Powell, Spectre 6 Purple in 12th. And then we move down to 13th. We've got Russell Kyle for Spectre 6. David Ayers in 14th for Result Clothing iRacing. Daniel Giudici, BSTV Esport Blue in 15th. JB Dejoux, LMT Racing in 16th. Martin Brennan, Safeguard by Result 17th. Charles Kellerman, Optical in 18th. Ralph Cullinan, Result Clothing iRacing in 19th. Roger Morton, 20th, Workout by Result. Ollie Rix, Spyro by Result in 21. And then Andy Littler, 22 for Workout by Result.
Well done. So, bumper field tonight, 22 TCRs and 8 GT4s. We are on the GP circuit, and it looks like we are going to get a full parade lap. So let's have a look where these cars are. I will only say these names once. So currently going into Paddock Hill Bend after coming off the Brabham Straight. Down into Pilgrim's Rise, and then into, sorry, we're still now we're into Druids. Then the left at the bottom is Graham Hill Bend, and then we will be on the short but sweet Cooper Straight. That leads us down into Surtees. Here we join the GP loop. So up the hill and then down into Pilgrim's Drop. And your next right-hander is Hawthorne Bend. Probably be doing a bit of tyre warming then. Into the Derek Minter Straight. I have no idea who Derek Minter is. And then into Westfield Bend. Little kink, and then we are into Dingle Dell, which is closely followed by Sheens. The left at the bottom is Sterling. Then we are down Clearways into the right-hander, which is Clark Curve. That leads us back onto the Brabham Straight, and the race will be underway. Hopefully a nice gap left by TCR. Ooh, Wobbly went very early there. Caught a lot of people out by surprise, especially Stefan Goebel, who's lost second
Stefan Goebel
place.
was completely caught off guard there.
Yeah.
It's a good start. The TCRs are still quite a way back there. They left quite a big gap. Stefan Goebel looks to be under a lot of pressure and losing and just going backwards at this point. So
yeah, we've lost Ralph Cullinan with an internet issue from the TCR field.
All of them have gotten through the first few corners. Side by side, it always, in the beginning it really looks spectacular with them all going side by side through quite a bit of this before they start, single filing and sorting themselves out. Oh, there we go. So that's the Spectre 6 car going wide. Shane Powell.
Going to drop to the back of the field.
Yep. He's going to have to battle his way through the pack now to try and get to another respectable position there. The GT4s are somewhat spreading out a little bit. Stefan Goebel seems to be a cork in the bottle, holding up a queue there.
Yeah, it's surprising. He was very, very quick, wasn't he? Qualifying in second. Perhaps the Porsche is just taking time to get those tyres up to temp.
Yeah, he just got caught out at the start there, and he's been on the back foot. He's been under pressure from the cars behind him for this first lap. I'm sure Martin Verstappen has been giving him a hard time, and he's been looking backwards, while trying to catch up to that front pack again.
Yeah, Ralph Cullinan has managed to reconnect. Obviously, he's going to be somewhere around a lap down when he joins, but anything can happen in these races, and he can still claw back the point. Well, that is David Ayers putting a lot of pressure on Dan Guidici. That's Ollie Ricks going a little bit wide. I would love £1 for every car that I've ever seen go wide at Paddock Hill Bend.
Yep. So Derek Minter,
me getting a face full of dirt.
So
Go on.
Derek Minter was a motorcycle MotoGP racer
That'll be
in the
why I've
50s
never
and
heard of
60s.
him then.
50s and 60s, and he had most of his success at Brand Hatch, apparently. But that's where the name comes from, or that's who he is.
There are lots
little-
of interesting facts about Brand Hatch that we'll talk through a couple of them as the race goes on.
Just a little bit of interesting stories.
Yeah. Let's start you off with the late, great Murray Walker. Who remembers Murray saying this? Why the authorities spend millions of pounds trying to turn Silverstone into a great circuit when we already have one in Brands Hatch is a mystery to me.
The late Murray Walker. If there was anybody ever more excited about racing than him, we yet to discover this person.
Oh yeah, he was the voice of motor racing, wasn't he? Without a doubt, in any country, everybody knew him, everybody loved him.
So we still got. We've got another one, another spinner. Who's that? Roger Morton.
Roger Morton, yeah. Should it be Paddock Hill Bend again? Yeah, just tipped it in with a bit too much speed. No harm, no foul, no damage. Just a bit of blushing to go to the back of the field. It's an interesting pattern on Martine's. What's he in? He's in the McLaren, isn't he? I've never noticed that until we've seen it close up. It just looked plain orange to me from a distance.
Stefan is somewhat caught up to and settled down into this race now, and yeah, they're in that train now. As you said, there's not much places to overtake here. We saw Stefan going a little bit slowly in the beginning, but still didn't lose too many places. He just lost that place at the start, and like you said, it's not one of those places where overtakes are easy to happen. He just settled down, settled into his race, and didn't make any more mistakes, and he's hung on to that third place and getting in there now.
Yeah, Sir Alan on the chat says he remembers Derek Minter with affection. For those of you that don't know, Alan is 172 this year, so he would remember him. He probably remembers him racing on a horse around here before the internal combustion engine was ever invented. Did you actually know that Brands Hatch was Britain's first permanent post-war circuit? I never knew that. Evening to Daryl Denny. Says sorry he's late. Alright, just rewind it and then you're not late.
Stefan Goebel getting up close and personal with Chris Shaw here. Trying to put some pressure on him. Passing, like we say, is not easy, so you're gonna have to try and make your opponents make some mistakes, put them under pressure. That's all you can do, and I hope you can force something.
Yeah, it looks like he's back up to speed, doesn't it? Not getting quite as much pressure from behind, and obviously pressuring the car in front. So Yeah, he's doing well now. Those top 5 there, very, very close. Chris Needham, Marco Lower, and we haven't seen Rick Hedgehog yet, have we? He is circulating.
Yeah, I think he's experiencing a baptism of fire here. These guys are quick at the front of the field, and he's going to have to work to catch up to them on pace. But you know, in this league, it happens. I think this could be the best thing for him. You know, if he's sort of new to this league, it's only going to make him better the longer he sticks with it. There's enough practice session, there's enough help around. If the quicker guys are gonna help him get quicker, so he just needs to stick around.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Gonna be a Bingham Paddock Hill bend.
It's been a while since we've seen one of these, and yeah, nicely onto the sand. Here we go. Wait
Not
for
even
it.
going to spin it. As long as your wheels are in a straight line there, you're all right. And just to mirror what Yaz was saying there, to Rick, if he watches this back, you know, there is loads and loads and loads of help these boys will give you. Just get in touch with them on Discord. And if you ever need some inspiration, ooh, somebody trying to get out of the way, I think it was maybe Ralph. But yeah, if you ever need some inspiration, talk to the RWC guys. They won't mind me saying that they were certainly not on pace when they joined us a few seasons ago. And now we've already seen one of them win a race.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best examples. I mean, we know Chris Needham when the RWC guys was himself, along with the other two were, remind me, Haddington,
Yeah,
Arne
Kylie,
and
Kylie Haddington and Arnaud Chenonnier.
yeah, the three of them came in and they experienced that exact baptism of fire where it was just, you know, these guys are a lot quicker than you expect. You know, you come in here and they just blow you away with their pace. But you know, they've stuck around. They've put the time in. And yeah, like you said, Chris Needham is now leading the Gt4 field, firstly in the standings, and he's also got his first win. Oh, that was just it just came out of nowhere there with some
it was like Ralph
issues.
was trying to get out of the way, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, it looks like he's got some connection issues there. He just disappeared and then reappeared in the middle of another car. But
he's disconnected now. I think he's got big internet issues. He did get booted, didn't he? But just before the race started, so.
Yeah, so I think Stefan Goebel must have made a mistake somewhere that he's dropped all the way to the back of the field. Did we miss that?
Well, I do think Stefan got an issue because he's slow, and he's been slow for the last lap since the contact with Ralph, I think.
Yeah, I was literally going to say that. He looked like he pulled over to let some cars pass. There's definitely something going on, isn't there? Parking it. It'll be interesting to find out what was wrong there. The fact that he's not towed to the pitch yet, for me, means technical issue. Anyway, back to the action. This is Pete Bingham and David Ayers currently fighting over P Nowhere.
Yeah, Stefan Goebel just started slowing down. I just went back to have a look there. He just started slowing down after that Ralph Cullinan incident. I didn't see Ralph Cullinan going into him, but it was exactly then when he started moving backwards and slowing down. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but that's really unfortunate that he's dropped out there. He also, like you say, he hasn't actually towed to the pits and just waiting there. I don't know if something else might be happening.
He's still there now, look.
Yep. So I don't know if something else might be happening on his side. Hopefully it's nothing too bad there. But we've still got a baton. I see him moving again. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened. He's moved away, but pulled off again. So yeah, something's definitely not right. He's pulled into the pits. But yeah, so we have wobbly kneecaps at the front, Chris Shaw in second, and Martin Versloeven now in third in the GT4. Jamie Wilson is also still in that pack at the front, and then we've got a bit of a gap for Chris Needham, and then another gap to Marco Lewert, and then Rick Verhoog is all the way at the back of the field.
Just say Hedgehog, I know you want to. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting battle. I also think Chris Needham is getting closer to these.
Well, looking at the lap times, Chris Needham is definitely on the pace with these guys. He's just dropped back a bit, but his pace is definitely up there. Looking at the fastest laps, he is just slightly slower than the others by a couple of tenths. So he's definitely not off pace when it comes to these guys. Funny enough, the leader is one of the slowest in terms of fastest laps there at the moment. But Chris Needham looks like he's catching up to them. He's definitely putting in quicker laps there, so hopefully he can catch up to the back. And you know, again, like I said a little bit earlier, you know, he's just put himself in the right place, and when things have happened, he's been there to take advantage of that.
Exactly.
So if he can just keep up with that pace there, then he'll you know, you never know what happens in front, and he'll be in there again.
Yeah, that, you know, some people don't like that side of racing, but you know, I've had some half decent results on track by not overtaking anybody. Just waiting for accidents to happen in front of me and say thank you very much. Incidentally, Stefan Goebel has now disconnected, so let's hope he pops himself on the chat to let us know what is going on. Something for our viewers, we won't be doing driver interviews at the end of this race. Sam has got family, and well, luckily for us, you know, decided he could still do the cameras. But literally after the race, we will be running through the result, giving the driver of the meeting vote, and then closing so Sam can go and spend some time with his family. I'm sure everybody understands.
Yes.
And it's a shame as well because Tyler's not here, so you know, at least the interviews would have been quick.
Well, Stefan Goebel has actually popped into sent us a message to say he's had some steering wheel failure. So yeah, like we suspected, something went wrong there, and it has. He has had a bit of a call it a hardware failure on his side.
Yeah, I'll say it did look technical the way that he pulled over to one side, and he was probably frantically trying to reset things to get it going again. But that Wobbly's pulling out a little bit of a gap now, isn't he, in GT4?
Yeah, these other guys are battling behind him, so it's giving him a chance to get away at the front. Martin Versloeven has gotten through Chris Shaw, so he's made a move there, and that's slowed them down a bit. And Wobbly's taken advantage of that by extending that gap.
Yeah, and Jamie Wilson is now putting pressure on Chris Shaw. in the big old beast, which is the BMW. That was JB Dejoux facing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it was facing in the wrong direction, and he's towed to the corner, so he must have hit the wall quite hard there.
See what happened here. Oh, he got a nudge. He got a nudge. That must have been Shane Powell, was it? Oh, and I think... Who was that with? Was it Dan Giudici went round trying to avoid it? No, it wasn't. It was Charles Kellyman. Wrong place, wrong time for Charles.
Oh, that's unfortunate there. Just got a nudge. It pushed him, it made him lose control, and he pulled real hard.
Again, you know, as we said at the start, it is one of those old school circuits. You know, there is some runoff, but it's not like a modern Formula One track where the runoffs are 73 miles wide. Here, it's a bit of grass which will be slippery and a wall.
Yeah, no, you know, there's only so much tarmac around here. You know, you need to thread the needle if you're wanting to try and make a pass here. And yeah, that was unfortunate there. That just didn't come off, and JB was the unfortunate victim.
Yeah, fantastic place to watch racing from, Brands Hatch. Many good vantage points.
Yeah, and it's a quick circuit. You know, I mean, all these, you can see these bends are all sweeping bends. You know, you light on the brakes in most of these bends, and there are just a few where you hard braking zones. There's probably 2 or 3 hard braking zones here, but all the rest are really sweeping bends where you're trying to carry as much speed as possible. So yeah, it is one of those places where racing just looks so much faster, so much quicker. You know, when you are spectating, and that's, you know, when you're wanting to go and watch a race, that's what you want to see. You want to see the speed, and this is one of the tracks that's just conducive to it.
So let's have a look where we are. We are 20 minutes in already.
Geez, that went by fast. So yeah, now's the time when we're going to start looking at who's doing what, how we're going to separate these packs. Mind you, we haven't really honed in on the front of the TCR field at all. We do have the usual suspects up there in the front. Sam Blees, Spencer McCarthy, Michael Gray is up there. We spoke about him a few times. You know, he just needs to put that race together. He's been quick, but just been unlucky. You know, he needs the luck of Stephen Walker to sort of get a good result there.
Surely nobody else in the world could ever get that much luck.
Yeah, not at all. But Michael just needs one 1 hour of that luck. You know, and we'll see him get some good points. We're looking at that front of the pack, and they're even running away from you know, Gary Craig is a couple of seconds off there in 5th place. So it just shows the quality of these guys at the front. You know, it's the season has just been one of those where it's just been tough to get to the front of the pack in the TCRs, and it's been tough to get a win.
Yeah, it is turned into one of those series, isn't it, that if you have a good result, 99 times out of 100, you've earned it. It hasn't been given to you. It's, you know, the class of driver that we've got here, and I mean that in driving skill and also in friendliness, community spirit, all that sort of thing that goes with it. It is absolutely fantastic. And as you said, interesting that Gary Craig is being dropped slightly by those top 4. You know, we're so used to Gary being right up there battling for the wins, and then Carl Hardy in 6th, best of the rest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's to say. I mean, they're dropping Gary Craig, and we know the pace of Gary over the last couple of seasons. So everything's just been stepped up a gear, and if you want to be up there, you need to you need to make that jump. You need to make that. You need to take those steps to battle with these guys at the front, and and it's not that Gary's slow. It's just that these guys are just on another level sometimes, and tonight seems to be one of those nights. And yeah, it's nice to see Carl Hardy up leading the best of the rest there. And we saw very good qualifying time from him. He's held on to that 6th place where he qualified, and he's also overdue for a good result. And yeah, it looks like he's got control of it tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure Carl will stay there. What worries me is as you go up Paddock Hill on the left, there's a little cafe cum restaurant called Halewoods, and the scent of the food does drift across the track. So how long he can hold that temptation for, I don't know. What has happened to Spencer McCarthy? Nothing. Who was that then? That's Mark Draper, isn't it? Because he... Oh, no. I was right. Ooh.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I said it at the front. That's what's going to cost people in this race, and there you've seen it. Spencer McCarthy's lost a couple of places there from that little mistake.
Yeah, gift for Michael Gray and Stephen Walker.
Also, so you know, you mentioned... Oh, what was that? Ollie Ricks
again. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Halewood restaurant. It's that was named after Mike Halewood, who was also a motorcycling racer back in the day at Brands Hatch.
Yeah, no, that name I do recognise, even though I'm not really into the two-wheel version of racing.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of two-wheel races at Brands Hatch. So I mean, we've now mentioned a couple of facts that come from motorcycling, a couple of names that are stuck around Brands Hatch.
Now, here is my most interesting fact, and this is not definite, this is speculation on how Brands Hatch was named. And it is thought that it comes from the Gaelic term Die Bronderhat. Now, Bron means wooded slope, and hat means entrance to forest. So the track is called the Wooden Slope Entrance to Forest.
Interesting. What do we have here? We've got Rob Venn making the move. I think Carl Hardy's starting to smell those pies at that Halewood restaurant.
I told you. I told you.
Rob Venn's making a move around the outside.
They do a very good chili in there, I remember.
And now he's under pressure.
Oh!
He skipped out of the wall.
I told you so.
I don't know if he got some help there turning that car.
We would have to see that from above. That's it, mate. Just smash into that wall, get it round. So, did Rob Venn touch him inappropriately? No.
No.
It was
the grass.
That rear wheel on the grass, wasn't it?
Yeah. So rear wheel on the grass, and it was just a slight little nudge. It wasn't Rob Venn. It was, who was that? Who was behind him? It was who was behind him?
It was Rob Venn. Oh, it could have been Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Adam. Rob Venn made the pass before that, and then Adam was the one that was behind him.
That's Andy Littler going round. It's Marco Lewert. Oh,
ouch!
The disco hips have failed.
Yeah. The grass is unforgiving at Brands Hatch. It's like we said, it's the street is, the surface is very. Oh, there's another one. Shane Powell, again the grass.
Ooh.
They decided to do it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, it's just just putting a little bit onto the grass. Oh, someone's going. Is that Michael Gray?
That's Michael Gray. Yeah.
Gary Craig is also pulling in there. These are slightly early pit stops. Slightly, it's just before the halfway mark. But as you always say, Clyde, who do something different if you getting stuck, and it looks like they're trying something differently.
Yeah, like you say, just before halfway, it's not a bad time to stop. In the TCRs, we have seen it as early as sort of 22 minutes in. But let's see what that does with... Well, Sam and Spencer, to be honest, they don't normally react, do they? They normally have a plan going into the race and stick to it. That's Roger Morton going in.
Yeah, I think if you're at the front and going well at the front, you can dictate what you're wanting to do. All the others need to react to what you're doing, and if they can stick to their own plan, they should do well, and they have the pace to be able to dictate what it is that they want to do. And like you're saying, it's the others that then need to do something different to try and close off that gap.
Yeah, Rick Hedgehog is in the pit. Stephen Walker is one that tends to go longer, isn't he?
Yeah, we used to seeing Stephen Walker try and go as far as he can, making his pit stop as long as late as possible. That's usually his plan, and he usually sticks to that one. And we might see him do that again now. Just go as try and drive that tank as empty as possible and stop as late as possible.
David Ayers on Russell Powell, I believe. Good move. David certainly looking racy tonight. Jamie Wilson and Christine Shaw are in. Sorry, Russell was trying to get that position back there from David, but didn't quite manage it, but he hasn't given up.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see who takes tyres here.
The outside. Oh, Shane put it in a bit hot. David gets it back.
Over and under from Dave there.
Yeah, and that's brought Dan Giudici into it as well.
And if you can see if anybody's taken tyres there in that pit stops. If they would, this circuit isn't one that's that's really going to burn out the tires as much as some of the other circuits. But I mean, if you do take tires, you're definitely going to pick up a bit of pace in the second half of this race.
Yeah, I would disagree with you there, Yaz, to be honest. There's a lot of higher speed right-hand corners at this circuit, which does tend to eat the left tyre.
It will be interesting to see what they do.
So Dan Giudici there is obviously getting some driving lessons from Ben Cullen. If anybody has seen or heard from Ben, let us know. He might be dead, we don't know. Pete Bingham is in the pit, and Gary Craig isn't. So Pete obviously has no idea what he's doing.
Talk about Gary Craig, and if he hasn't pitted, or has he pitted? Yeah,
Gary
he
has.
pitted quite
Yes,
early, eh?
he did. Yeah, lap 18 for Gary.
TCR leaders in now. Sam Blees is pulled in.
Yeah, but
Spencer McCarthy and Stephen Hawke have stayed out.
And that paint scheme always makes the front of that car look damaged. Every time I see it from the front, I'm about to go, oh, there's damage.
Oh, there is damage.
That's Mark Draper.
Another one bites the dust.
Well, Mark was one that I expected to go well. Ooh, there was 3 wheels on my wagon there.
Yeah, that's done. That rear wheel has come undone there. Just hit that wall a little bit uncomfortably there.
I think that was, to answer your question, Sam Blees taking at least 2 tyres there.
He was come out behind Michael Gray.
Yeah, he was definitely up on the jack. So let's have a look. I think Michael Gray took tyres as well. In fact, I think all of the TCRs are.
Chris Needham's up to 2nd place. The GT4 field is all bunched together now after those stops. But Chris Needham has moved his way all the way up to 2nd place. So we didn't entirely see what happened there, but he's done something well in the pit stops. Unless it is the case of tyres versus low tyres. I don't know if you saw any of those stops. If the GT4
well, the pit lane times that I've got are a bit weird. I can tell you that Wobbly and Chris, their pit times were almost identical. So I believe whatever one did, the other did.
But there's now 3 other GT4 cars between Wobbly and Chris Shaw.
Yeah.
Ooh, TCR's getting in the way there. That's cost Chris Needham a little bit, and Jamie Wilson. That TCR is just holding them up a bit there.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to it's not an easy circuit to get past.
Not at all. And here we see this the trouble that these GT4, the TCR has decided to hit the pit.
Yeah, that was Ollie Ricks, I think.
That's cost Chris Needham 2 positions. They're trying to get through that traffic. He's struggling now. Oh! Well, that's cost him the race. That's done. That's unfortunate. He was on the outside, and Jamie Wilson was on the inside of turn 1. This TCR was still battling with him as well.
First glance, it did look like Chris Needham had turned in early, but that was my first glance seeing it live. Let's have a look.
No,
got racing incident written all over it for me, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate. I think he was caught out by what was happening in front of him with the other GT4s and TCRs, and he just came off.
Martine is on wide as well. These GT4s are causing some problems in the TCRs are causing some problems in the GT4 field.
Yeah, the GT4s are starting to get through these TCRs here. Through no fault of the TCRs. Don't get us wrong.
No,
it's not
definitely not.
It's just part of the race of trying to get through them, and the nature of the circuit is just one that is very tight. And as you can see, the pace differential. Could you hold on? Is the wall coming up?
Yeah, I'll say we've already seen somebody else bite the dust there. I think it was Mark Draper that managed to hit that wall. Oh, hello. Hello.
Come on, Sam. Come on, make something happen, Sam.
Oh,
Here we go.
wheels on the
Thank you,
grass.
Sam. Here we go.
Boo.
Ugh,
Minus 10 out of 10.
false alarms.
Yeah, that
False
was
alarms.
absolutely rubbish.
But yeah, I think like we said, it's just one of those tight circuits. The some of these corners are just you can see the differential of speed between the GT4 and TCR isn't very different in certain sections here, and that's what's causing them some trouble.
Michael Gray is hanging that out as much as he possibly can. The back of that Honda is waggling. Here it is. It's on. It's on. Got to get across and cut him off. Oh, you didn't. Oh, but you've done well. You've done well. Spencer McCarthy's going to try his luck as well now. And Sam Please is in there as well.
We've seen Sam Please go off twice already this evening, but he's still in that lead back. It just shows the pace that he's got.
Whoa! Yeah, come back, Yaz. Back from Mars.
Is that just a bit soft? But
look who is now up with this battle.
Ooh. Save it. Straighten him out again.
That was Dan and Russell. And David Ayers is in there. And Peter of Bingham has joined on the back. This is for 9th place.
Lots of fights going on now. We're into the last 20 minutes of this race now, and we're going to see things heat up. This is where they're going to need to make up some positions and try and battle their way to just get further up the field. We're seeing it happen now. Guys going side by side, trying to get through wherever they can, putting pressure on the driver in front of them. We've seen a couple of mistakes happen already this evening, so now's the time to hold your nerve and keep station as best as you can.
Yeah, just having a quick look at the head-to-head. So Matt Elmore against Roger Morton. So Matt currently sitting 8th and Roger in 14th. Gary Craig, Stephen Walker, they are 4th and 5th respectively. Gary has gotten past Stephen. Sam Blees versus Spencer McCarthy, 2nd and 3rd respectively. And then Shane Powell versus David Ayers. Shane Powell has gone. David Ayers currently sits in 11.
Yeah, there was just a sequence of events that saw Stephen Walker go from the lead all the way down to 5th within the space of a few corners. That's just how close that front pack is. There's just nothing between them there at the moment.
Pete not frightening that apex at all.
Apex is lava.
Jamie Wilson is back in the pit. Is that a drive-through? It certainly looks like it to me.
Yeah, that could be that 4X he picked up with Chris Needham there that could have pushed him over the threshold.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to battle his way back through the field now again through the TCRs. He's would have dropped a lot of time there with that drive through.
Yeah, quick visit to the naughty step for Mr. Wilson. So don't forget, guys, start thinking about your driver of the meeting, because we will have a very quick race recap at the end, and then I will be hassling you for your vote.
Interesting that your head-to-head has found the two teammates up against each other.
Yeah, well, that's the randomness of it.
Yeah, and yeah, they look like they're really going hard at each other here, trying to upset Michael Gray.
Well, Michael Gray is just being hassled all over the place, isn't he, by the two geodesic guys?
Yeah, he's got one in each mirror at the moment, and yeah, he
So, on the chat, Sajak, I have no idea who you are, I do apologise. Jamie equals Dirty Wrecker with a smile.
Yeah, all Michael has to do now is just drive the pace that he knows and try and not look behind him, and just hope that they don't do anything silly behind him, and just keep going at the pace that we know he can.
I love the way you say all he has to do when he's got those two behind him.
Yeah. I think all you need to do is switch your mirrors off and just not look behind you.
Relative off, everything off.
That's the only way that you can do it, without looking behind you. And otherwise, these two are going to hassle every little bit of you that you can. Oh, he looks calm in his seat over there, so doesn't look like anything's bothering him at the moment. So that looks good.
Yeah, and obviously, the two guys, as Yaz was just saying, the two guys behind him are fighting each other in the head-to-head for a place in the semi-finals. We've got this round and Silverstone next week. And then our semi-final lineup will be complete.
Now these three are putting a bit of a gap between themselves and Gary Craig, and Stephen Hawke is also dropping back a little bit from the rest of them.
Well, Gary Craig has put a gap, hasn't he, on Stephen Walker. So is it possible that Stephen Walker didn't take tyres, but the rest have?
This is also a possibility. Oh, we've got another.
Oh, that is Rick Hedgehog.
The baptism continues.
So, Mr. Gray, 14 minutes to go.
Got to be the longest 14 minutes for Michael Gray. I'm sure he's wishing the clock could just turn out quicker.
Gonna be, I'm guessing, somewhere around another 9 or 10 laps. So, GT4 leader Wobbly Kneecap is now into the front group of the TCRs. That's Stephen Walker. I believe he's pushing him. I'm convinced he was pushing him then.
We got it live, Wobbly. That's shame on you not helping your teammate, but the other team. Even though you might have raced with Steven on the 24, but still.
So Stephen Walker says he forgot to change tyres. So, can anybody else? Who's behind Stephen? Adam Wright. He's
Quite a
quite
big
a way
difference.
behind, though, isn't he?
Michael Gray.
Yeah, this is where it's on.
Yeah, the difficult part of this track is that you know, if someone is making a move on you and you're defending in the line that you don't want to be, you just become a sitting duck for a few cars that's there. So he needs to quickly get back onto pace here, so that he doesn't lose another place to Sam Lees very quickly. We saw that happen with Stephen Walker. We went back 5 positions very quickly.
So, a very, very well-known racing instructor who will remain nameless, I won't name drop, once showed me how to defend round Druid when you are on the inside and there is a car on your outside. And basically what you do is you start to relax your steering so that you are drifting out to the left-hand side of the track, and you give the car on your outside the option of crashing into you, going onto the grass, or putting the brakes on. And that is how you defend round Druids into Graham Hill Bend.
I am more interested in why you didn't want to name drop whoever that instructor was, because that's what I want to know.
Top secret.
Well,
Was
it's
it Pete
definitely not
Bingham?
Pete.
Was it
It
Pete Bingham?
certainly
the one
wasn't
crashing
Pete
into the
Bingham.
grass.
I will tell you that, yeah. Not sure how effective that tactic is in sim racing when it doesn't hurt when you crash and it doesn't cost you. But yeah, in real racing, it certainly is a tactic.
Harry Craig is now right up onto the back of Sam Blees again, into that back. Well, not right up there, but very close to that back again. Pulled away from Stephen Walker completely.
Yeah, there is the GT4 leader now going through, or trying to get through these top 3 in TCR. Wobbly has got a healthy, I think, 6.5 second lead over second place Christine Shaw, so he can afford to take his time and show a bit of patience.
Sam, you mentioned teammates that you brought up Daytona 24. I did manage to win a split of Daytona 24. Just thought I'd say that out loud.
But split doesn't count.
Yeah,
It was
split
it was
748.
7,347. Nonetheless, a win is a win and it counts. That happened on the weekend that passed.
And who were your teammates in that, Yaz?
Teammates, there were a couple of names that you know. Mark Heron, remember him?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
No, just,
remember Mark Heron from a couple of seasons
yes,
ago?
I do remember Mark Heron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in there. Robbie Tier, if you know him, he's been around a little bit.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. And then there was a guy named Chris Skull.
Yeah, never heard of her either.
Really good, nice little guy that. And then Andy Hansen was the other driver there.
Never
But
ever heard.
Mark Aaron is the one that did race in some of the Backfire leagues a few seasons ago.
He certainly did. Yes, I do
And
remember that name.
yeah,
And
he's
how did you end up as their teammate? Was it a charity thing, a bet, sympathy?
I was the organizing sponsor. I paid them all to race with me, and I did about 30 laps, and the rest of them covered off the rest, and I just took the trophy at the end of it.
Ooh, that looked like nudgy nudgy. That's given Gary Craig third place at the moment.
Oh, what happened there? Let's have a
I think there was an apology from Sam there.
Oh, just drifting out a little bit.
Yeah, Sam.
I think he may have been listening to you.
Well,
the tips you were giving him.
to be honest, that is exactly the way to do it. It was just at a different part of the track, but yeah, you know, it does. Like I say, in real racing, as the car behind you've got a decision. You know, do I think I can get this done? If there's any doubt, it's going to hurt or cost me money or both. So we have got just over 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, we see Michael Gray, who was leading this race just a few minutes ago, is sorry about that. Yeah, he was leading a few minutes ago, and he's all the way out to the podium positions now. Just after a few, you know, just moving a little bit backwards at the moment in positions. Getting involved in a little bit of argy-bargy there, and he's come off. He's come off as second best in those battles.
So Carl Hardy and David Ayers close to each other on track. Bear in mind these two have to work with each other in the morning. This could get interesting.
Yeah, this decides who has to buy coffee for the rest of the week, and yeah, this is going to be some. I have a feeling this is going to be some good racing between the two of them for the next 6 minutes. We know that Carl's got the pace. He showed it up front, so he's going to put pressure on his fellow office
Gary
mate.
Craig, are you going to lose that position? Yes, you are. I think that was Marco Lewert coming through. Well, yeah, I think that spooked Gary a little bit. That is
Chris Needham.
Chris Needham, yeah, got his repairs, didn't he?
Yeah, just making his way through there. Yeah, but I think that move from Marco Lewert is I don't think Gary's too happy about what happened there. Ooh, what's going on here? This is the coffee run going on here.
Yeah, who's that involved? So, just to have a look.
Everything's happening at the same time, and it's
a lot of things going on.
Position. Probably because, yeah, Marco Lewert diving into the inside, probably spooked him as well, went wide.
Yeah.
Very wide.
Very, very wide.
Why not racing the Indy version, mate?
That's unfortunate there. We did see Sam Blees apologizing earlier for the incident with Michael Gray, which cost him. So yeah, these are a couple of dives down the inside, spooking a few of the TCR. Ooh.
I think
Good
that
save.
just got Carl Hardy past David Ayers.
That was one hell of a save there, after being nudged that way. This is still going on. Carl Hardy's getting the free coffee this week, it seems.
Yeah,
he's made his way through that whole pack.
Carl Hardy, Russell Cowell, Dan Jadici, David Ayers.
I already see
Oh.
tears coming out of that.
Yeah, it looks like Carl has cleared himself from that mess that's gonna be coming over the next few minutes.
Yeah, but what's coming behind? Oh,
Oh, Dan.
He's given him a mind punt there. Carl, that Bingham has just come up behind Giudici.
That's really what you don't want to see in it, is Bingham in your rearview mirror, because you know you're a dead man driving.
What we're looking at here? Roger Morton.
And Charles Kellyman. So that order in TCR now is Spencer McCarthy, Michael Gray, Gary Craig, Sam Blees, Stephen Walker. But Sam wants that third place back. Martine has been selling Chris Shaw for about the last 10 laps.
Yeah, I've been picking Martine for a good result since the beginning of the season. This could be a very good move if we can hold this off. The two of them going side by side through quite a few corners here.
With Martine, we've seen how good he is in GTE. We've seen how good he is in GT3. We've not quite seen him hit the heights in GT4 yet, but it's coming.
I've been picking him for most of the races up front, and he just hasn't yet got that result. But yeah, he's showing some good gusto tonight here with Shaw. We know
Marco Lewert and Pete Bingham in the pit. Are they drive-throughs? Are they visits to the naughty step?
Are they short on fuel?
Drive-through today are Ollie Riggs, Andrew Littler, Peter Bingham, Jamie Wilson, then UGG now. That's the next one in the queue, probably.
Yeah, so Marco could be damaged.
Well, he's hit the exit now, and he's going to come out in front of this, in between these TCRs again. Easy.
Let's see where he is on track. He is 6th.
He's ahead of this TCR battle.
He's ahead of the second place battle. Spencer McCarthy has disappeared into the distance. And this is the final lap. There's the white flag.
Couple of good close battles here, but with this Wobbly coming across the line now for another win. He had this race all under control from very early on once again. Chris Shaw was holding off Martine Verslooven right to the end. A good result coming back from Chris. He's been away for a while. It's a good result coming in second there. These guys still going. It's a
drag race. It's a drag race. Gary
It
Craig's
looks like Gary's just got it. Oh, that was a close one between Gary Craig and Sam Blees there.
Was for the third step on the podium.
This is the last battle. Carl Hardy's pulled away from this pack after we saw them all fighting for the same piece of track. But it looks like Russell Cowler's got it over David Ayers over Dan Giudici. Yeah, it was a good drive from Carl. He just had that one little incident where he turned off to go to the restaurant just after you mentioned it. I'm sure he was listening to the
He
broadcast at
must
the
have been
time.
listening. Yeah, yeah.
But he has shown some good pace tonight, it was a steady result to come in ninth there. And Olirix is the last car over the line, finishing 17th.
Okay, so our official result in GT4. Wobbly kneecaps for BSTV Esports. Pink takes away the win. Second place, Chris Shaw for Mob 7 Esports. Third step on the podium, Martin Versluwen for Dutchies Esports. Jamie Wilson came home fourth for Team Chimera. Chris Needham in fifth for RWC Racing Black. Marco Lewert, VTS Esports in sixth. Rick Hedgehog, seventh. Privateer, and classified in eighth was Stefan Goebel for VTS Esports with his wheel issues.
TCR feels Spencer McCarthy coming out a winner by quite some gap in the end. Michael Gray, a good second place for him. Gary Craig definitely just about beat Sam Blees to the line for the third step on the podium. Sam Blees, as we mentioned, in fourth place. Stephen Hawker in fifth. He did say he forgot to take tyres at the stop and just dropped off with pace. Adam Wright in sixth. Rob Venn seventh. Matt Almore, 8th place. Carl Hardy, we mentioned him quite a few times now towards the end, a good 9th place. Russell Carl in 10th. David Ayers, 11th. Dan Giudici, 12th. Pete Bingham after the drive-through, finishing in 13th. Charles Kellerman, 14. Roger Morton, 15. Martin Brennan in 16. Ollie Rick, 17. And then the guys who didn't quite make it to the end was Anthony Littler in 18th. Mark Draper, 19th. Shane Powell, 20th. The last two was JB Dejour and Ralph Cullinan. Calling it a night quite early.
Yeah,
For those positions.
Fantastic racing again from these guys in both classes. Lots and lots and lots going on. But as we said earlier, we won't be doing interviews tonight because Sam's got family down and wants to spend some time with them, which is fair enough. So, guys, let's start with Yaz tonight. Your driver of the evening, please.
It's a difficult one, but I think I'm going to give it to Chris Shaw, who came back from a long break and held off Martin Versluwen at the end there. A good second place for Chris Shaw. He gets my vote.
Okay, and Sam, your vote for driver of the evening, please.
Well, this one will go to Michael Gray. I think he did a great race, and I think without that GT4 traffic, he was on for a good win, probably.
Okay, so for me, he's been first, second, third, fourth, third, second, first, second. I'm going to agree with Sam. I really hate doing that, but yeah, I was very, very impressed with Michael Gray's speed tonight. That second place could have quite easily been a win. It could quite easily have been an early retirement, or anywhere in the top 10. I think the way he was driving the car, the way it was hanging out at the rear end, that's enough to give him my vote. So 2 for Michael Gray and 1 for Chris Shaw tonight. As we're going to close early, let's have a quick look, and it will be a quick look as long as I can press the buttons quick enough as to what we've got coming up for you in the next 7 days, and it is packed. So on Saturday we are back in Porsche 992 Challenge action with rounds 7 and 8 from the wicked Chicago street circuit. On Sunday, it is round 7 of the BSTV Truck Series from Michigan. And then next Wednesday, we are back with this series, round 8 from Silverstone GP circuit. So some fantastic racing coming your way. Big thanks to all the drivers. We love the racing that goes on in this series. We love the sportsmanship, and we love all the help that you give all the new drivers. Big thanks to everybody that joins in on the chat. Obviously, we really enjoy that. Big thanks to everybody that has watched us live and those that are going to watch us on +1, which will be most of the drivers. Big thanks to Sam and to Yaz for joining me in the booth. I shall say good night. Let the guys say any quick words they want to say and then say good night. And then we will be closing the broadcast. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe and good night from me.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
And good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and see you for me on Sunday.